Hey, what's up guys, it's DisturbedLegit. Today I'm just going to be kind of giving like an in-depth guide on recalibrating, what to recalibrate for, what to look out for, which things are best, all this other stuff. First off, what I'm going to do is just go over which things you would probably want to prioritize on gear in terms of base stat roles, or not base stat roles, like minor attribute roles and major attribute roles, and what stuff is better than other stuff. Because I see a lot of people messing that up and like re-rolling for random crap that really isn't helpful. So I've decided that, in this video I'd kind of explain all that stuff, maybe help you guys out. So if this video does help you out, please make sure to drop a like. But anyways, sorry I haven't been uploading recently. Really isn't much for me to cover right now. Hopefully a new DLC drops soon. I really don't know when they're going to come out with one, maybe like at the end of August or something, I don't know. Really not much to talk about though. Like, I haven't played this game for I think over 2 weeks now. Like, I really don't even play anymore. Just not anything for me to do. So sorry if there's not really a lot of content I can make, but hopefully this video is helpful for some people. A lot of people won't really help out, but there's some people that still don't know how to reroll stuff right. So I figured this video would help out a little bit. So first off, we're just going to go over every single piece, and then at the end I'll kind of give some helpful tips on what you should reroll when like looking at certain pieces of gear, and what stuff is more valuable than other stuff. So first off, we're just going to look at every piece of gear like I said, and then just go over which major attribute or minor attribute or skill attribute you'd want to look for. So first off, obviously for a skill attribute, you don't want to ever prioritize getting a skill attribute as opposed to getting a major attribute. This is kind of a tip beforehand. A skill attribute is kind of just like a nice to have thing, but you never want to prioritize it over the main stat, like having skill power on a mask, for example. Like, my mask has Secret Mine Explosion Radius, which doesn't help me at all, but I'm not gonna go re-roll that when I don't have skill power. So just quick tip right there. So never re-roll for skills. But anyways, that's kind of a little bit off topic. But starting off with the mask for the major attribute, there's 3 that are good here. I would say skill power, damage to elites, and crit chance. The skill power will help you in PvP and in PvE. PvP, it'll just help your heal do more. No matter what you're doing, you're probably going to be using a heal in PvP. Actually, let me move my mic closer. I don't think it's close enough. Don't know how good you guys can hear me. Alright, that should be a little bit better. Alright, and then, so skill power is really nice. In PvE, it's pretty good too. Just giving your heal a little bit extra more and getting your skills back faster. Damage to elites I like to use in PvE because I go for full glass cannon DPS builds. So damage to elites lets me do a lot of extra damage. But obviously in PvP it's not going to help. Crit chance is good, but honestly I never need to use it because usually I'm at crit cap when I'm either using Savage Gloves, or if I'm in PvE I have a group that's running a 40% crit chance pull. So I'm going to be crit chance cap already. But if you don't have Savage Gloves, or you have badly rolled gloves or something, which I'll get into gloves later, but if you don't have a lot of crit chance, then getting crit chance might be helpful. But in most situations, I'd say skill power is going to help out, and the damage to elites is good for damage. Health on kill, exotic damage resilience, and health I don't see being that nice. Like, health on kill is good, or it's decent actually. It used to be good back when you could kill things fast, but nowadays, I mean, an NPC will take out all of your health in one shot, so getting an extra 11% health after killing somebody really isn't helping. In PvP, you rarely even get the killing blow on somebody, so 11% isn't going to help out that much. Exotic damage resilience, it is good in PvP to survive against sticky bombs, but you can get exotic damage resilience on like your chest piece. So on your mask, I don't think it's worth it to trade out exotic damage or trade out skill power to get exotic damage resilience or damage to elite. So that's why I wouldn't choose it. It's a lot of things about re-rolling your gear is about which is better than another, and like you could get exotic damage resilience on another piece, or you could get it on this piece, but on this piece it's more valuable to get something else. And then on something like a chest piece, it's better to get exotic damage resilience because there aren't that many other better options that would be better to pick. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody with that. Hopefully you get what I'm saying, but basically it's just not worth it to get exotic damage resilience when there's a lot of other better options. And then for health, I mean, I really don't think this is helpful. Like, health in PvP, 2000 health means like 1 extra bullet from somebody, from an SMG, like a body shot, like is really not going to do that much. And in PvE it means even less because you're going to get one shotted even if you have like 500k toughness. So for the mask, skill power, damage to elites, and crit chance is your best option. Now looking at the chest piece, usually for PvP I go for exotic damage resilience, because like I said before, there aren't that many better options, and exotic damage resilience just lets me survive sticky bombs. In PvE, if you're looking to make a PvE or a PvP build, I keep in mind I will be mentioning PvP or PvE. PvE is just like against NPCs and whatnot. PvP obviously against other players. But exotic damage resilience is helpful in PvP. Survive those stickies. In PvE, not much so. It's only helpful once you get past 50%. Like if you're using final measure and then you really want to solidify on that and like add on to that and make you tanky against explosives, then in that case it could be helpful. But if it's because of the way that exotic damage resilience stacks, but if it's just by itself, then I don't think it's worth it, because if you only have like 14%, you're going to get one-shotted by a grenade from an NPC either way. But in PvP, I usually go for exotic damage resilience to survive sticky bombs if I'm not using final measure. And then if I'm going to use it in PvE, also you need to get armor on a chest piece. I can't even imagine that I forgot about that. You have to get armor on a chest piece. The reason for this is that if you don't, you're probably going to have a really hard time getting armor capped. And like I said before, with like trading out things, you could get armor on your knee pads and your armor on your backpack to make up for it. But then you'd be losing skill power or crit damage, which is much more valuable than gaining something like damage elites or health or exotic damage resilience on a chest piece. So it's just more about trading out and which is better than which. So on a chest piece, you always want to go for armor. And then for the other stat, exotic damage resilience, good in PvP, not in PvE. Health, like I said before on the mask, not really going to help you out much. Damage elites, good, going to help you out, doing extra damage. I get damage elites on my chest, my sentry chest, when I'm doing PvE, just so I can get extra damage. So I like the damage to elites. Protection from elites, I really don't think it's going to do much, because NPCs will still one-shot you regardless. And like I said before, health and kill doesn't really mean shit. So moving on to your knee pads, or no, actually backpack, my bad. Alright, moving on to your backpack. Let me find one that I actually rolled for crit. There we go. Okay, so on your backpack, crit damage is usually what I go for. You can also go for skill power. I go for crit damage because I like to do as much damage as possible. Skill power is also really nice to get your heals back faster, and so your heals do more. You can go for armor, but I really don't think it's worth it. Like if you're getting armor on your chest and on your holster and you're wearing all 268 gear, even if you're not wearing all 268, like 240s, you can get armor with mods. And I don't think it's worth it to go for armor on a chest piece, because losing out on crit damage, which is a huge damage boost, or skill power could be really detrimental to your build, and you really want to make sure you're getting those bonuses. So crit damage and skill power is definitely the way to go for a backpack. I'd say crit damage just for pure DPS, and skill power if you're trying to do like a hybrid build. If you're using blind, you want to make sure your pulse is pretty good. If you're using like a skill build, or if you're 1v1ing people in PvP and you want your heal back all the time. But I like to do more damage, so I go for crit damage. Skill haste really doesn't do that much. It just makes your skills get back faster. But I mean, skill power is already going to make your skills get back faster anyways. And I mean, it just makes your skills all around much better, while skill haste only makes you get it back faster. So skill haste isn't worth it to get. Signature ability resource gain just makes you get your ult back faster. Still not really worth it to go for, I don't think. So, for a backpack, you want to prioritize crit damage or skill power. Armor, skill haste, and signature ability resource gain aren't really going to help you out that much. You can go for armor if you really, really, really need it. If you're wearing like 214s and you need it to reach the cap. But otherwise, yeah, I'd say, go for crit damage and skill power like I said before. Alright, now we're going to take a look at gloves. So there's a lot of things you want to look out for on gloves. I'm going to try to go over every single one of them. But, or actually, no, there isn't that much to look out for. Basically, you want crit chance and crit damage 100% of the time, almost no matter what you're doing, unless you're using Deadeye, but that's like situational. But in most builds, you need crit chance and crit damage. It's a huge damage loss if you don't have those, so definitely make sure to get those two. They're just way more important than everything else. And then for the third thing, like I said before, health on kill isn't going to help you out. Damage to elites will give you extra damage in PvE. It will give you more damage at getting a base damage roll on like a certain weapon. So, in PvE, I go for damage to elites just for extra damage, but you can also go, if you want to use it both in PvE and PvP, you just get crit chance, crit damage, and then for the third thing, you would get something like SMG damage, or assault rifle damage, or LMG damage, or shotgun damage, depending upon what gun you're using. Pretty standard stuff there. Just always make sure to get crit chance and crit damage, and for the third thing, either get damage to elites, or get shotgun damage or something. Like I said before, health on kill isn't really going to help out. I know some people are going to comment saying, oh, health on kill is amazing, and then they're going to talk about how they stacked a 50% health on kill, and then they kill one thing, and then they get half their health back. But I really don't think it's worth it to do that. If you want to do that, go for it. But I want to do as much damage as possible, and stacking health on kill isn't going to help me out when doing that. So, I would stray away from health on kill. I'm kind of going on a tangent right now. So, for the for your gloves, crit chance, crit damage, and then for the third thing, damage to elites or a base gun stat damage, just depending upon which gun you're using. Moving on to your knee pads, right? And your holster. Did I skip the knee pads? Why the hell did I enter that? Okay, whatever. Alright, moving on to your holster. Holster is really simple. You always want armor on it for the major attribute. If you're not getting armor, you're gonna have a really tough chance getting full armor cap, unless you're getting it on your knee pads or your backpack. But like I said before, you don't want to lose out on major stats, and on the holster, getting protection from elites isn't gonna do shit. Like I said before, skill haste not gonna do shit either. I have absolutely no idea why there's a pistol damage roll in this. I guess it's because it's a holster and that's where you hold your pistol, so why not give you extra pistol damage? They're trying to be realistic, but I mean, it's an RPG, it's not supposed to be, but whatever. 300 pistol damage is literally like as pointless as it could get in terms of a major attribute. Like, you can either get pistol damage, or you can get your skills back faster, or you can get protection from elites, or you can get armor, which is in turn protection from elites, basically, because you're getting armor capped, which makes you more protected. So I don't understand pistol damage, but I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent. For the holster, you want armor, protection from elites garbage, skill haste garbage, pistol damage even worse. Alright, moving on to knee pads. Knee pads is pretty simple. For almost every single build, you're going to want crit damage just for flat out extra damage. You can go for armor if you're having trouble reaching armor cap. I would probably rather go for armor on your backpack though, because a backpack will give you extra armor, more armor than a knee pad would. But if you want skill power, if you're doing like a skill power build, then I'd say get on the knee pads, because if you're not worrying about damage. But if you're a damage build, get on the backpack and then keep the crit damage on here so that you're getting more armor out of the backpack. Besides armor and crit damage to elites is decent. I don't think it's as good as crit damage is though, and crit damage is going to be good in PvP and in PvE. Protection from elites, like I said before, not really going to do anything. You're going to get one shot anyways. Exotic damage zones can be helpful, but I don't think it's worth it to trade off crit damage, and if you're already getting EDR on your chest piece, it should be fine. And then, like I said before, health is pretty useless as well. So that's pretty much all the major attributes. Now, I'm just quickly going to look at some things that you should kind of notice, and how you want to reroll certain gear. Also, actually, let me mention some minor attributes. Most minor attributes don't really matter that much, but on knee pads, while I'm already looking at it, enemy armor damage is really good in PvE. It's just extra flat out damage. These are just things to look out for. You don't need them, but I mean, it'll just make your build or your gear piece a lot better if you have it on them. In terms of like resistances and whatnot, those don't really matter all that much. You can get them, they can be like somewhat helpful, but I wouldn't prioritize them over crit damage or something. But enemy armor damage on knee pads is really good, just extra flat damage. And then for the holster, you can't get any minor attributes on there. For the gloves, you can't get any minors. Backpack, you might want to try to go for disrupt resilience is helpful. I usually like to get ammo capacity just so I can get more ammo. Disrupt resilience, I guess, does it roll with anything else? Seems like it's only disrupt resilience and ammo. And bleed resistance. Actually, let me check. I can check right here. Bleed resistance, ammo capacity, burn resistance, disrupt resistance. Yeah, so I'd go for ammo capacity. It doesn't really matter that much. Like, that's kind of iffy. Minor attributes on a chest piece. Again, ammo capacity is really nice. Increased kill XP is cool, I guess, if you're going against NPCs. You can get increased kill XP on your mask and your knee pads as well. So if you want to like level up faster in the dark zone, increased kill XP can be pretty helpful. And then on your mask, again, you can get increased kill XP, or you can get enemy armor damage. Enemy armor damage, great, like I said before, just extra flat out damage, which is pretty nice. You can also get like blind death resistance or resistances to other things, but I don't think those are that important. Alright, so moving on to how you exactly want to reroll something. Usually, let's look at this one Deadeye mask for an example. This is a bad example. This is something that you don't want to do. So I only did this because I was using it as like a glitch a long time ago, so I didn't really care about this piece, but usually I wouldn't do this. So basically what I did is this mask rolled as firearms, but for that specific build, I wanted more stamina. I don't remember what I was doing, but I wanted more stamina, so I re-rolled it for stamina, and then I left the major attribute as exotic damage resilience, which isn't going to help me. This is a mistake that a lot of people make, because it's like, okay, well, I just got this new mask, but the only way that I can incorporate it to my build is that if I use stamina instead of firearms, or if I re-roll off firearms or stamina, whichever the one may be, because you could put it on and then you could have either 4,000 stamina and then really low firearms, or 4,000 firearms and really low stamina. So you want to counteract that by re-rolling the main stat. The problem with this is that then you end up ruining your piece if it's rolled like exotic damage resilience. If it rolls with skill power or damage to elites or a stat that you want it to reroll, you know, that's perfect, that's awesome. But if it rolls like this one, like exotic damage resilience, and I don't want that and I want skill power, I literally just fucked this piece over, because instead of re-rolling for stamina, all I would have to do is either replace one of my other pieces or just switch out all my firearms mods and then switch them for stamina mods. Or I'm sorry, switch out my stamina mods for firearms mods, or somehow try to figure out how to do it by replacing another piece, or, you know, fixing it with mods. You can always do that in the future, but now, since you've done this, you kind of tarnish this piece, and it's always going to be like, okay, well, I need to upgrade this piece, when you could have just upgraded a different piece and already had this one, you know, waiting to be used once you got a better piece as well. So it's kind of just like killing your piece once you do that. You want to just always reroll for the major attribute to be good, because there's many ways that you can manipulate builds to make them work, and, you know, ruining a piece just so that it works at that point in time isn't going to be worth it. So, you know, you always want to reroll for either the major attribute, or let's say that your piece rolled perfectly. It rolled stamina, and you needed stamina and like 750 stamina, and then it rolled skill power, and then you had two other things that, you know, you don't know what to reroll on it. So I'd say either reroll, depending upon what the piece is. If it's like Kneepads, I'd reroll for enemy armor damage to get extra damage. But if it's not Kneepads or not a mask or nothing where you think the minor attribute is worth it, you could always roll for the skill attribute. The skill attribute's really hard to roll for, because, you know, there's like so many different options, and it's really hard to get exactly what you want. But yeah, you basically just like, if you get a perfect piece, you can either just reroll for the minor attribute or for the skill attribute. I don't think it's worth it to roll for a higher, or actually, let me go back to this other point that I was talking about before. I don't want to deter people from rolling a piece. Like, if you get a piece that's rolled electronics and you can't use electronics, like you're using a DPS build, then go for it. Reroll that shit off, because that ruins the piece even more than having a major attribute being bad. Sorry I didn't clarify on that, but as you can see right here, I got this Alpha Ridge mask. It's the only mask I had, but it rolled for electronics, and I couldn't use it with my build at all being electronics. So what I did is I re-rolled for stamina so that I can actually use it. Crit chance I don't need at all, because I'm already way above crit cap. But, you know, it's not a dead piece. It's just that, you know, it would have been a dead piece if it was electronics. I needed to get stamina on it. So in that case, it's fine. But if this rerolled for firearms, then I just reroll off crit chance and get skill power, and then try to find a different Alpha Bridge piece to counteract it and make it work. Just thought I would mention that, and just so I don't confuse anybody. You can definitely reroll electronics off, but if it's stamina or firearms, then I don't think it's worth it to reroll. Alright, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but that's pretty much all you guys really need to know. Quickly, I'm just going to go over which things you want to prioritize in every single piece again, just to reiterate, just so you guys know. So, for the mask, skill power, or damage to elites, or crit chance depending, and then I would go for skill power mostly. On the chest piece, first off, make sure to get armor if you can. If you don't have armor, it's pretty much a dead piece, so make sure to get armor. And then for the second thing, damage to elites or exotic damage resilience. On a backpack, always make sure either get crit damage or skill power. You can, where's the piece? Crit damage or skill power. Can go for armor if you need it, but you shouldn't really need it. Skill haste, signature ability, resources gain are pretty crappy. On your gloves, I would say you want to prioritize crit damage, because that will give you extra crit damage, then crit chance second to that, and then thirdly, you know, SMG damage or whatever, it would be third priority, but prioritize crit damage, crit chance, and then the third thing. And then for holster, always prioritize getting armor. You know, it doesn't matter that, like, looking at this piece, oh, it has 677 stamina, but, you know, oh, I need to have 757 stamina, so some people would re-roll for higher stamina. But then you literally just shot yourself in the foot, because now you're probably not going to have armor cap, and you're going to in turn take take more damage and have less toughness. So getting that extra 100 stamina did literally nothing. So you always want to make sure to get armor. If you don't have armor on a holster, it's pretty much garbage. So always make sure to get armor, no matter what the base stat rolls on it are. If it has like all 600 rolls, you know, it still doesn't matter. I would still always roll for armor. Like on this one, I did that exact same thing. Really bad holster, but I rolled for armor on it. And then for Kneepads, there's not really much to prioritize here. Just get crit damage. Usually, you know, I tried to reroll these a bunch of times, but I kept getting dicked on. That's actually why I'm poor right now. For Kneepads, crit damage, armor if you need it. Damage to elites is decent. Exotic damage resilience decent, but I don't think you need it. Protection from leads bad, health bad, but prioritize crit damage if you can. And then that's pretty much it. Actually, yeah, I thought there was going to be another piece, but that's it. Alright guys, I know this video is kind of a mess. I'm pretty tired right now, if you cannot tell by my voice. I'm a little bit messed up, but I really wanted to get a video out because I feel like I've been kind of neglectful and haven't made a video, so I just want to apologize about that. But I hope this helped some people. If it did, please make sure to drop a like. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. If there's anything that I missed, if there's anything that I did wrong, feel free to call me out in the comments. Again, sorry if this video wasn't the best in the world, but I hope that it did help some of you out. Anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this helped. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.